Hello, Knights at the Roll Table, and thank you for listening. This is the second to last episode of Season 6, the penultimate episode, always much beloved. If you did not listen to the previous episode, you really should, because there's going to be major spoilers in the recap. And 3, 2, 1. So, in the previous episode, the team was able to defeat the corpse of the dragon, Cambionatrix, that was being brought back from the dead so that John Fletcher's soul could occupy it. But upon destroying the dragon, the team was able to free Gravely and welcome him back. But then, unexpectedly, Oliver accepted a deal to donate his own soul to allow John Fletcher to come back and right his wrongs and work for the Knights. Oliver is now gone, and Gravely and the team are left in the Chamber of Treasure to sort out what's next. Now to all of you, remember, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and make life an adventure.
Should we maybe back up or go get out of here? Are we worried about collateral fog damage or?
You do sort of like look around and note that also the sort of like moat that appeared to be dead kobold ghost trouble, that fog has also gone away in kind of the warmth of this radiant light. So observing it for a little bit, is this going to like go nuclear? What's going to happen here? Like it seems for now to be complete. And so the 5 of you are left in this chamber with this sort of bright yellow thing and a lot of treasure and no perceivable threats.
All right, well, let's fill up Oliver's bag with gold then.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gravely just looks down, like he's looking up at the light, and he just looks down. And he's like, "What the heck? We're standing on a gold pile."
Oh yeah,
yeah. There is quite a bit of treasure. We'd probably be wise to take some time going through that and seeing what's actually of use.
I mean, probably. I mean, why not? I mean, we're here. I mean, we've got to go back and talk to the folks in the tower and the castle anyway. So, I mean, money is a great motivator. All right, everyone take a bag.
Here you go.
Do we see any magical looking items of interest?
Probably. That would make sense, right?
Probably.
Sounds like there was a plan here.
Or not.
I think Zach should just name a few so we can pick from the wide selection that he's
Gravely has a bag of holding, and I'm going to
dump it out and just fill it with gold.
Just be like, I'm going to be like, I can take about 15 pounds of stuff. Wait, no. The bag weighs 15 pounds. Oh, it can hold up to 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Not exceeding a volume of 64 cubic feet. There's not a whole lot in there.
Yeah, you're probably safe just to add as much as you want.
Just pick a number.
You can get a lot of gold in there for sure.
Who needs to find magic items? We can just go buy them.
Right, exactly.
That's 64 cubic feet of gold.
Cubic feet. That's amazing. It's awesome.
I'm looking for some random tables here. Oh man, here's a whole section on sentient items. Gravely, you're also noticed Randall's wearing a helmet that has
what? It's like a horn.
Randall's got a helmet that was talking to him. Mm-hmm. I think it's like a Viking helmet.
Yep, it's my new dome.
Which you do not recall. Destroying artifacts.
And I don't get critical hits on me.
Book of Vile Darkness, Hand of Vecna, Supernatural Gifts.
If I filled it up completely, I could take, it says 50 gold per pound, so I could take about 25,000 if I filled it up completely.
It's time to ruin the local economy.
Assuming I'm just taking gold. If there's platinum or jewels or other things,
We can certainly say money is literally no object for Gravely going forward unless he hands all of that over for you. Like, y'all are able to scrape up a fair amount. You have what you need to fund not just like whatever you need, but, purchase an army, things like that could be options, things the Knights might need. Let's have everyone, though, kind of looking about for...
Definitely want to look for like magic items.
Oh, the thing that Randall gave to Oliver was Torque's locket.
Is that a known thing?
Torque was somebody from
It was the guy that like walked in.
the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like
It was
episode
like
1.
Riggs's inside man that walked in for you and then got killed by one of the undead guards.
Those got Torque and like his wife in there. Here you go, buddy.
We're going to go through. Each of you is going to acquire one particular magic item amidst everything here. You're going to roll a D4 and then a D100.
Okay.
So let's start with Randall.
All right,
Roll me a
D4. I got a 2.
Okay. So then roll a... H is a lot. Oh, what the hell? Let's go with it. Let's unbalance the whole system. We're working it out. All right, so you're going to roll on table F. So give me a D100.
19.
That sounds reasonable. You acquire a shield, and that will reveal itself to be a sentinel shield.
Sentinel shield.
Those are fun.
All
I
right.
believe we'll have to look it up. It is a standard D&D item. Sentinel shields are extra shieldy, like it can like stand on its own or something, but to look that up.
I think it gives you advantage on initiative. It was something like that.
Yep. While holding this shield, you have advantage on initiative rolls and wisdom checks. The shield is emblazoned with a symbol of an eye.
Creepy. All right,
Cool.
let's go to Branch. Give me a D4.
That's a 4.
Oh boy. All right, give me a D100.
It is a 70.
You have all 3 of the Deathly Hollows.
You have found a Dwarven thrower. This is a hammer. This is actually something very similar that Cavan was using when you ran into him. It is a large, heavy hammer that can be thrown as if it's a light hammer and called back. It's pretty Thor's hammer-like, really.
Meow meow.
So you look out this big hammer that is like, it really should be like almost too heavy for Branch to like lift, but it's not, which gives you your first clue that like, this has something to it. Don't know that it's going to be super useful to Branch. Could be, but that is what you have acquired.
Yeah, Branch goes to move it out of the way, like as he's looking through things, and he goes to like heave it, and and he falls on his butt because it's just so much lighter than he expected.
I
What
think
is
it's perfect for you.
Tiburon, give me a D4.
Yes, sir.
Not 4,
2.
not 4, not 4. Okay. Roll a D100.
What is 4? I wonder.
27.
That's where the Dwarven Thrower was.
Well, there's magic item tables A through I, and so within the middle of that, 1, 2, 3, 4 is which table you roll on. What was that number, Tiburon?
27.
Okay, and that was a 2 and 27. 27 is Boots of Striding and Springing.
Oh, that's good.
Perfect for Tibby.
Presumably, they will help you stride and spring. Look it up. And Sarsa, go ahead and give me a D4.
1.
Right. And a D100.
26.
You come up with a scroll. Let's do some more rolling.
A scroll of anti-lycanthropy.
How convenient.
Nailed it. Okay, so now you need to roll let's just say D20. Actually, roll a D20 and a D4.
4.
A 4?
Okay, well,
and then
the D20
also
was
roll a
a
D4.
4.
Yeah.
And then the D4 is a 3.
1, 2, 3, 4. This is easier. 5, 6, 7. This is a scroll of Dark Star, an 8th level spell. Concentration up to 1 minute. It's from Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. Spell creates a sphere centered on a point you choose within range. The sphere can have a radius of up to 40 feet. For the duration, the spell's area is difficult terrain. A creature with dark vision can't see through the magical darkness. No sound can be created within or pass through the area. Any creature or object entirely inside the sphere is immune to thunder damage, and creatures are deafened. Any creature that enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there must I don't know why this is an 8th level spell.
It's a critical roll.
We don't do wild mount here. Roll again. Give me another d20. Roll a d20 plus a d4.
We're the only D&D podcast on this D&D podcast.
That's going to be 17.
Maze. That sounds promising. Concentration, 10 minutes. You banish a creature that you can see within range into a labyrinthine demiplane. The target remains there for the duration or until it escapes the maze.
Cool.
The target can use its actions to attempt to escape. When it does so, it makes a DC 20 intelligence check. If it succeeds, it escapes and the spell ends. A Minotaur or Goristro demon automatically succeeds, so don't use it. We run into a Minotaur or whatever a Goristro is. When the
XX Minotaur would not do well.
Nope. I'm home, baby.
All right, you have one casting of the spell Maze. And finally, I think Gravely, right? Give us a D4.
Yes, sir. That's a 2.
And a D100.
I have my D100 die.
Nice.
Ooh.
Big old sphere. That is a 44.
A 44 will get you a Pearl of Power.
Ooh.
Okay.
I know what that is. It's basically like a saved spell
Yeah,
slot.
Igneous has
that
one
you
of
can,
those.
you can
neat.
put
Store a spell in there, right?
Cool.
All right, so you've all acquired a vast quantity of gold. Fancy new magic
I'm
item.
putting down 20,000.
All right. Type that in there.
I had 53.
That's going to top off that bank account there. You might even want to get into
53,000.
maybe start a 401k or something.
Investing in stock of heaven sent.
All right, so you're in this giant chamber. The light seems to be cooking for some amount of time, and you came in through a giant hole a couple 100 feet in the ceiling.
Can we just hit the reset and then start it up again and
The quick save.
AB start?
Start
Yeah,
from your
quick save.
previous save point. I don't think you want to do that.
Uh,
I don't know actually what's the duration on the coatl. There might be a coatl around.
Oh, it's concentration up to 1 hour.
Oh yeah, the quaddle would still be
All right, y'all want to ride a coatl?
Yeah.
Yes, more than anything in the world,
I
Zach.
think Randall also has a giant fly, so
No, he got killed.
okay,
Yeah.
good.
He got squished.
Coatl's a lot more majestic, so
how many of us can ride on the quaddle?
It's pretty long.
I'm going to say there's probably some form of shuttling, but you're all able to make it to the chamber above with the coatl assistance.
If there's shuttling, Branch will just turn into a hawk and fly up there and then turn back. Insert hawk noise.
And generally speaking, you're going to retrace your steps over a significant amount of time, but let's go ahead and credit yourself a long rest. You maybe camp out in one of the chambers that you passed through before, regain your energy. It was a significant trek in there, so it's going to take a lot of time, but we'll be able to travel back to the entrance generally unfettered.
They know all the steps. I shouldn't say we. They know all the places to avoid.
Oh, and here's where we fought that thing, and over here, Gravely
all right.
is where we found that.
Shouldn't
and
we
over
go
here was a
across
trap.
the little lake here? It seems like that would save a lot
No,
of
you
time.
don't. No, you don't want to do that. You
Oh.
want to go the way we
All
went,
right.
but backwards. Yeah,
All right.
it's easy to see now. It's
Yes. The horns do a lot for your presence. I have to commend you on that.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you.
See, I told you this is working out. This is going to be good, you and me. He likes it, says the helmet.
Oh, God,
Yeah,
I forgot
buddy,
it
that's
was-
right.
Forget it was
Helmet, you're my best friend. I'll do anything you tell me to.
No,
Who
dear.
shall I serve, Helmet? I am unbound on this plane.
So, over a significant amount of time, you make your way back out to the entrance where you had encountered a good portion of the townspeople that had fled the town and Chancellor Riggs's reign. The Zeros were there. Kriz, Quasi-Kazoo, Grunk, and Haberall were that group who are now like level 5 or so. You had talked to Bavrax significantly, and Caraquil was in that kind of like group of townsfolk. And as you sort of like reemerge and see them, it looks like they're getting kind of like packed up. It looks like they're getting sort of like ready to leave.
Oh, where's everybody going? We figured it out. Look, we got our friend back. Wasn't that super important to everybody in this town?
You actually like are talking to Caraquil, who is like kind of like packing up absent-mindedly, has a whole bunch of like scrolls and bottles and things that he's kind of like carefully setting in a chest and some bins and like bags and things, and he's just saying, oh, well, we're going back, we're going to take our stand, we're going to try to fight Chancellor Riggs, and I need to make sure we have all the right things. And oh, you're alive.
Hello.
Welcome back, Gravely. You're alive.
Yes, it's a bit of a long story, but the short of it is, I imagine all this like walking back, we've kind of been coming up with a plan. So it's like the short of it is, we have to stop Riggs as well. We're going to try to take him peacefully. We have to get the hot Ren dagger away from him. It's corrupting, and that particular item is very dangerous and has to be destroyed. So,
well, yes, it's very dangerous. Who would want to go anywhere near it? It's very dangerous.
Yes, I mean, we have first-hand explanation from formerly John Fletcher. Like I said, long story. So he kind of tells them about Cambionatrix and being imprisoned and the how he was a dragon and blah 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 and everything, and kind of saying like, we got to get this dagger away, and then whoever you guys pick to be a leader will be fine, because they're not going to be under the influence of this dagger. And perhaps they're dealing with perhaps you're dealing with some sort of sentient, corruptible force. There could be something more at work than just a dagger. I mean, it seems to really infect the mind. We've dealt with things like this before. Better let us handle it, unless anybody wants to come up in the peripheral just to make sure that things go well. You know, there might be minions or, mini-level bosses or something like that. I'm starting to talk like Jeff.
As you're talking to Caraquil and kind of like recounting some of your adventures and things, like more and more people notice like, oh, it's them. We kind of thought they would be not alive anymore. Your whole group is sort of acquiring
some Riz.
Kind of a crowd. Yeah. Of like, oh, they're back, they're alive, that's their friend. They kind of like know you went to, even if they hadn't seen Gravely, they know that was kind of like what was going on, and they sort of recognize like, oh, that must be him, and probably also notice Oliver's absence.
The other thing Gravely's going to look out for is if there's probably people that are like, I don't believe this, like, this is kind of like whatever, like the sort of doubters of the group, like, like that kind of thing, and he's going to be like, oh, and also, I don't know if this is of interest to you, but down in the place where the final battle was, there was a very large hoard of treasure that we took some of it, but there's still quite a bit for everyone to go around, and this could be a very prosperous place. And he kind of opens up his bag and takes out a little handful of gold and platinum, just like a big old like ching, 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 and he kind of just places a handful, the hand of the person that's kind of like right there, like
that creates probably quite a stir. They all kind of like look at it and get excited, and that person was wisely chosen doesn't kind of like the opposite of sort of like a riot happens. Like that person is like, what? And sort of like starts to share it amongst the people around.
You're under no obligation, but we want to help free the people of this land. If you'd like to come with us, it is of your own volition. And with your bravery, we will continue to help the people of this land to free yourselves from this force that has plagued you for so long. Who's with us?
Me.
Roll a persuasion. Gravely?
Oh gosh, persuasion is awful.
We'll give you advantage because, as we recall, Gravely does not have good charisma.
I really don't. Persuasion?
Yes.
I really should do something about that. Okay, that's not bad.
Advantage from a handful of gold preceding you.
Well, I rolled an 18 and a 19, so minus
Nice!
1, so 18.
I was gonna say I could give you guidance too if you need it.
Guidance would be great.
Yeah, here you go.
Well, that's enough. It works pretty well.
Randall do some crowd work
So
too.
plus 1, so 19.
Fortuitous. I think like a lot of the people here kind of know you a little bit, and they've had a good sense over the time, especially because Chancellor Riggs in his less sort of like monstrous times was really sort of like promoting all of you like as his kind of like crackdown got harsher in the town, there was still a like, well, these guys are cool, these guys are great, and so aided by that, like people know who you are, which is a little bit like they know, but they don't necessarily trust for sure that like you're in it for the right reasons, but like this has been pretty motivating. And what was happening is the vibe was like they were getting ready to go back and see what they could do because they can't hide in this cave forever, but they weren't feeling very, like you could tell nobody was feeling real confident that anything is gonna come out of this attempt. It was a sort of like a last stand. But now they're a lot more charged up with Gravely's speech, and they're a little bit more willing, and they've got gold, which they are both hopeful about, but also it's very much like this would be really helpful if I can survive the next day or two. Like until then, it's not really worth anything to me.
I think for the group as a whole, Gravely is going to also like ask maybe a deserter soldier or like somebody that knows. Like, what's the security like? I mean, like, what are we going up against? Is it just Riggs with this knife, or is it like a bunch of soldiers that are blindly following him? Or like, what's the sitch, as they say?
Some people sort of group up, and you create sort of like a little sort of like impromptu war council. A few people kind of step up. Bavrax is there, who's the satyr who was a friend of John Fletcher's and kind of gave you a talking to in terms of you're not better than him sort of thing. Caraquil is there, and some other sort of like town leaders, some former guards, some people you recognize, some people you don't, and they kind of lay out.
Is the guy that we were gonna make? We were gonna hunt meat for the pies.
Hugo, interesting question. I don't think we've mentioned where Hugo is. I don't think he's necessarily here. He's around somewhere. You do think like, hey, I wonder what happened to Hugo. I wonder if he's okay.
I would guess he's not in the war council room if his big priority was getting meat in the town
bakery.
Before.
Could have changed. I mean, you never know.
Now he's leader of the resistance, yeah.
But the group is mostly aware of the situation, which sounds like it's relatively the same as when they last left the town. It's relatively deserted because mostly people have either fled or been arrested. And so mostly you'd probably be able to, there might be some kind of like guards that you might want to try to sneak past or take out or kind of like preserve your approach on the way in. So there could be people watching, but you're unlikely to encounter a main force until you get to the fortress in the center of town that's built into this mountain. In that fortress, there's a jail that the group has investigated. You know, Clump is being held there, Cletus is being held there, and some other. That was about all that Branch was able to see, but some important people are there, and it was pretty full. And then the main resistance of the guards that remain are probably going to be back kind of like the same sort of like path you fought through to fight Lord Malkadoth before, probably like kind of like in through the layers of the fortress to the throne room or maybe beyond. Like Riggs might be holed up the same place John Fletcher was, or you do kind of know the layout of that palace pretty well, but you're not sure exactly where people will be right now.
Well, I know I just came back, but I mean, does anybody have any ideas? Because I'm starting to formulate one.
We need to find that object, so anything that can help us find the object's going to be very useful.
What was your idea, Gravely?
Well, in general, I mean, I think we don't want to kill anyone because they're just making bad decisions. They're not evil, so we need to enter with non-lethal force or trying to figure out a way to maybe like scare them or put them to sleep or something like that. What I was thinking is maybe Branch, in the disguise of something small, could enter in under the guise of like a dragonfly or like a small sparrow or something like that would get inside. And then we'll try talking to Riggs. And if he doesn't seem like he's going to listen to reason, you'll be behind him and then sort of bamf into something large and then grab him so we can take the dagger away. What we don't want is another situation where someone gets turned into smoke. Who knows? I mean, we just don't want this cycle to repeat.
Did John Fletcher not tell you how he turned you into smoke before?
I know it was some sort of spell effect, but I'm not sure if it was related to the dagger or maybe that was just him. Was it a spell?
amidst the group, because you saw something pretty similar, like it's definitely had a thousand years of tweaks, but because you were able to go back and see something kind of like similar happen to Kilani when Oliver was young, like it seems like there was no equivalent like dagger object in that situation, so it seems like the dagger might be a separate kind of thing.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then we shouldn't have to worry about that, but we do have to worry about the dagger.
Yes. Remind Branch how the dagger works. It is if someone gets stabbed and the person they love dies.
The person we love the most. We're not actually deathly hurt, so not great. Does anyone have anything non-lethal that maybe a gas cloud or a sleep spell or something? I'm not a spell person.
Well, I mean, we do have. Give me a second here.
Oh, I do have locate object. I forgot. I'm actually 2 levels of cleric. So once we're in the main gates, I could cast that to find the dagger.
Branch can turn everyone of us into beasts if we all want to sneak in, or Branch can make Riggs very stupid, but he might die if that happens. But
No,
probably not.
I don't think we need to go to that level unless he seems like he's irredeemable. But
Yeah, I don't really have anything to scare the vision except for, this maze squirrel. But I would save that for something else.
Randall, do you have anything that could cause a distraction to draw some people away into out of the main gate that might let us get in? What I don't want, Branch, you're saying is I don't want to just avoid them all, because then Riggs could simply call everyone in and then we'd have all these soldiers to deal with. So I think if we take them down but not out as we're going through, small batches, free the prisoners, continue to make our way inside, it's going to take some finesse.
You have at your disposal a large volume of townsfolk.
Sure.
Of variable fighting abilities. Some of them think they're very formidable, but they're a little sub. Some of them might be able to do a little bit more, but as a fighting force, they're probably like a good distraction, maybe to draw out guards or something, but not something you're going to really trust to do a lot of damage.
Gravely, I just remembered something. I was reaching for my flask and I realized I touched a bottle, and I still have the ever-smoking bottle.
Oh, that would be good.
Right? That would make a nice big cloud for you.
Yes, yes. And I think if the townsfolk could form some sort of a demonstration, sort of a picket line, if you will, or some sort of a demonstration, just protesting, then we'll draw some people away. All they need to do is talk and keep them distracted long enough for us to get inside. The smoking would be good for when we get into the jail, the smoking bottle. That could draw them away. I also have Pass Without Trace, so I can mask us until we get to Riggs. How's that sound?
It makes sense, and no one else is saying anything.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
I do like the idea, Branch, if it does seem like we are getting overwhelmed. How long would it take for you to turn us into animals?
Oh, no, it would only take a few seconds. It's one action. But if I am in an animal shape, then I will need to unbe that animal, and then I can make us all animals.
I don't think you'll need to do that until we'll know halfway in.
If you want me to turn everyone into animals, then just say, Branch, turn us all into, and then say the name of the animal.
That seems a little bit... just in case they have mages that might have a counterspell ability, maybe we should have some sort of a code word like pancakes or I don't know, cucumbers. That's always on my...
Gravely, you say cucumbers a lot.
Cucumbers, they are a good vegetable.
I don't know that should be the code word.
All right, that's true. I don't want it to be...
Do we want to be fighty animals or flighty animals?
I would say something fast.
Okay.
How about rhubarb? It's very sour.
I do not know how to turn you into rhubarb.
No, not you turn us into, but as a code word. If I say rhubarb, you turn us into
Some sort of beast. Got it.
hummingbirds or something like that.
Oh, I will do better than that.
Are we looking to leave like immediately, or will we have some time?
Probably closer to nighttime, so that we have cover of night, less guards on patrol.
But like immediately, like within a day.
Oh yes, I would say in the next couple of hours when it's night, assuming it's daytime right now.
Okay.
Why? Do you have something that you need days for?
To see if I could get maybe using some of DM magic to like have some time and effort for Randall to like make and like experiment with some sort of like knockout gas poison or
I feel like a lot of what Randall has is already pretty close to knockout gas. Some smells that come out of his bag already close to have that effect. It's probably something you've tinkered with before a little bit. So go ahead and roll Arcana.
You've done Stinking Cloud, I think, right?
yeah, but I was just because like that would be more like making a specific potion
Yeah.
that wouldn't be like a spell slot or
Roll Arcana.
24 for Arcana.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang. All right.
And
Tiny mushroom
that's just
cloud
one of those
comes-
things that like we see Randall on one side and he's like pouring stuff and there's like 3 people watching, and we see Randall again and then we look at the other side and there's like 5 people watching, and it keeps on going back and there's just more and more people like, what's going on?
He's like, oh, give me some of that. Okay, you do this. And he starts like putting people to work. And hey, does anybody have some old toenails? I need some toenails here.
I've
got get 3 some old of that.
toenails.
Okay, how about some baking powder? Give me some baking powder in here.
Oh, I've got some baking powder, love.
Okay, and then some blue cheese. Anybody have old blue cheese?
I've got some goat cheese.
Close enough. We'll use it. And he's kind of like maybe trying it out on like a townsperson. Like, okay, now you just
Smell
wait
this.
and like.
Oh man,
Smell this.
you can't knock me out.
Yeah, try this.
I'm incredibly.
I think we're close, gentlemen.
He just took out Harold, and he's like 240 pounds.
You know Stinking Cloud?
Yes. Yeah, I know Stinking Cloud.
All right, so you're able to get this working pretty well. We'll say it takes the form of essentially a free cast of Stinking Cloud that doesn't do damage. Instead, will knock someone out for the duration.
Got them. A sleeping cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Excellent.
All right. We're ready. He's got it in like a glowing orb.
It's like one of those little like porcelain cats that has a little hand that wow. Something you can roll and it's just like yeah. All right. I think we're ready. It's not that far from like where we are at the camp to the center of the town or whatever. We can just
It was a little bit of a hike, but like similarly, you can pretty substantial caravan with all the like townsfolk and stuff head out there, and you're able to get to the outer reaches of the town without anything noticeably getting in your way. You may have been spotted because there's a lot of people.
yeah. Whenever we get to a place where there's kind of like the town square, I think we've seen that before. They'll all kind of like, I'll be like, all right, you guys make your stand here and just protest. And, you know, some of them have been making signs throughout the day and stuff like that. They're like, we want our
Phase 1,
town back.
distraction. Yeah.
Stuff like that. Or like, okay, we'll go around and go kind of the sideways to the stronghold. You guys start making some noise here. Phase 1, initiate.
I mean, I think walking into the kind of like outer reaches of the town, some guards probably do spot you, but their reaction isn't to like, you know, 2 guards aren't going to like run up and do much to this like big band of people. So instead they retreat. So you have a strong sense of like, okay, they know we're coming. Not necessarily like you, the individuals, like your
Right.
party.
It's
You're
like when a whole
keeping
bunch
to
of
the
people,
middle.
when a
Right.
whole bunch of people that are, you know, protesting, you're just like, we're marching forward, you know, and they're not going to stop for 2 guards, and the guards are going to be like, oh yeah, okay, let's go.
So you make your way into the middle of the town. You're able to kind of like set them up, and they start kind of like raising a commotion. And pretty soon guards are emerging. The gates open up to the fortress, and kind of like columns of guards start walking out and lining up facing the crowd. So what do you want your group to do?
I'll cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay.
Phase 2, infiltration.
Everybody rolls stealth +9. Hey, Zach, do you remember why my strength is 29? Did I have like a thing that was it like ogre strength or something like that?
That seems high.
Yeah, I'm sure whatever that was temporary. It was either a potion or a... I mean, Gravely didn't do portals, so it wouldn't be a portal effect. But
I was like, wait a minute. This is off.
yeah, I remember we talked about you acquired a potion of Hill Giant Strength, which has a Hill Giant's toenail in the bottom of it.
Uh-huh.
I think you drank that.
I think I did drink that. That was before the battle.
So all stealth rolls so far above 20. He's a shadow of a ghost.
22 for me.
+9 does it good.
The lowest, clumsiest stealth is Branch with a 22. So you're all pretty high level and visible functionally, especially with this kind of big distraction of the crowds. So gates are open, but very, very manned. You know, there's a couple lines of guards in front of them with more sort of coming out, but doesn't necessarily preclude trying to sneak past them, especially if you used other stuff. Like, what do you want to do from here?
Are they all kind of clumped together?
As you're watching, there's now like two lines of kind of like roughly the width of the square. There's a line of guards and then another line of guards lined up, and there's a few more maybe kind of like coming out into a third line. The length of that line is probably maybe 50 feet long.
Phase 3, locate object.
Well, not yet.
We can...
We haven't
Phase
infiltrated.
3.
Complete phase 2.
Complete Phase 3, complete Phase 2.
Infiltrate. Does anybody have anything that they can distract guards on the bridge?
And obviously I've got my smoke.
I can cast Insect Plague at 300 feet.
But we have to get past them.
I don't think they'll follow us if a swarming, biting 20-foot radius sphere comes at them. We could do... I could do Infestation at 30 feet. How far away are these guys? I had a lot of spells.
I imagine we're kind of like hiding behind a building or something that's like near the gate within sight.
Yeah, I mean, with Pass Without Trace up, you can get... There's enough like stuff, buildings, alleyways kind of like lining this square. And there's still the bodies are no longer up there, but there's like a stockade in the middle. With Pass Without Trace getting you that high into stealth, like you can position yourself really wherever you want. It's not out of the question to just kind of like sneak around behind them and try to slip in the gate. You might pull that off, but it's a little bit risky. It would be good if you could.
What if I summoned my my Axacoatl and had her assume a humanoid form, and then she could go over and talk to the guards while we sneak by?
Wait, you could do that?
No, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's
How long
we
have I been?
flew on it.
So we're just trying to make a distraction. We can't just sneak by them.
They're kind of coming through the gate. The gate's pretty big and it's open because they're coming through.
I could summon some lightning up to 120 feet away.
I could turn us all into mice and we could run in and then I can change us into something else inside.
Well, the whole thing is we don't want them to come back in, then we're trapped. This might be the time that we knock them out. Once we set it, are we able to go through it? Is it one of those things like, how long does Stinking Cloud stay up? Or a Sleeping Cloud?
I think you would have to avoid it. I mean, you might be able to hold your breath
Up to a
to
minute.
run through it if you knew it was happening.
Up to a minute. So we could wait a minute.
I think as you are all kind of like discussing this, maybe we could do daylight, lightning. Maybe it's time to use the thing. The crowd is making a lot of commotion and the guards are all looking at that. And then what you notice really like first is just like on the other side of the line of guards from where you are, they start to like, they've been standing in like very still, stark, strong guard posture, kind of at attention. And those guards down there on the other side start to like move around. There's some sort of commotion you don't really understand on that end of things. And some of them, it almost looks like they're like dancing. Their feet are moving up and down. You're not sure what's going on. And then eventually what you realize is they are being overrun on that side by cockroaches.
Ugh.
They're fighting back, my friends.
So as the cockroach horde advances on the guards, they're starting to crawl up on them and they're kind of freaking out and breaking ranks and people are all looking that way. The guards are looking that way and they're getting nervous. That will create enough of a distraction to allow you, because you're on the other side of that, to slip through and get inside with your very high stealth into the first level of the fortress.
Our roach friend saved the day. Let's slip in.
You're not you don't get to see whatever's going to happen with the protesters and the guards and an army of cockroaches. More on that later, I suppose. But you're kind of like one layer in. You're still on the outside. The first layer of the fortress is open to the sky. This is where on one side there's a barracks, on the other side there's a jail, and you're able to kind of like remain to the shadows, finding hiding places, and kind of like watch more guards run towards the outside to the square.
Once we're through the gate, are we able to close the
portcullis?
Close the actual gate to prevent them from coming back in?
There's people in there manning that, so you could, but you'd have to take them out in some way. And not everybody is out there, so you don't really know how many people are still inside there, but it'd be a possibility.
Gravely, can you shoot the chain? I hear that you are good at that.
Well, look, I mean, it was one time. I mean, look,
shoot the chain.
But that was from farther away.
Shoot the chain.
I would rather, a few of us go up and cause these other folks to go to sleep, give them a bad headache, and then we lower the gate, which would prevent these 20 or 30 guards from coming back in right away. It'd give us a lot of time.
Okay.
Tiburon, you think you could take out one or two of them?
I think I could.
Non-lethal.
Oh, all right. Well, I do have this staff. I could just toss it.
Hey, what's the staff?
It is for striking.
Just whip a stick at somebody.
We're going to split up and then try to take out the people that are manning the portcullis or the gate so we can close the gate. Sleeper hold.
All right, so what you're looking at from the inside is on that like outer wall that the guards were marching through, there's kind of like a path on top of it. That path is populated by a fair number of archers who are focused out on the crowd, and that's where the kind of portcullis like contraption is. You can see a stairwell on either side for getting up there, and it's only about 20 feet high. So you could also throw stuff up there, bamf up there.
Randall, do you have anything that would catch on fire?
Oh, yeah. I certainly do. He comes in and he gets like a big bunch of newspapers, like some old newspapers. He's like, oh, I've been keeping these.
All right. Can you douse them with some sort of alcohol or burning liquid and throw them?
Wait, that's not a good way to use alcohol.
It's just for fire consumption.
I have some oil. I'll use some oil.
All right.
Finally,
Oil.
I've been saving up to use this special item until the perfect moment. Newspapers.
Newspapers. Legendary.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do is toss it in the walkway so it sort of blocks anybody from coming over to where we're going to be. And I'll shoot at it and cause a fire blockade on one side, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. While we're doing that, Sarsa, you and Tiburon and Branch, you try to take off or knock off the people from the top, either off the side or just cause them to be unconscious so we can... we don't want to kill anybody, but let's just take them out of the way so that we can lower the gate, and we'll cause the other people that are up on the top not to get any closer.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
I already lit the newspaper on fire. Are we ready?
Oh, wait. I will light it on fire.
It's too late. It's already on.
Okay. Okay.
No, he'll do it your way.
Yeah, so he throws like kind of this wet sploosh ball of oil. Just
Oily newspapers.
Gravely is going to take out his arrow and be like, I hope I still know how to do this. He's going to shoot and aim with this is the quiver of elemental ammo, and I'm going to say flame on and shoot a fire-based arrow at the oil rags newspaper and we'll hopefully light it on fire.
Okay, and where are you placing the oil rags?
If we're up on the area where the archers are, we want to go up the ladder, put that sort of to block any other people from coming around the corner, that sort of thing. So so no one's going to be able to like physically get closer to us. They might have to, shoot or whatever at us, but I'm going to take care of them.
So like behind you on that step so other people can't follow you up, or you're trying to cut off the archers?
No,
or
not on the steps, on like to the left and right. So it blocks, sort of like creating sort of a fire blockade on both sides. So we're going to be in the middle where the chain is, the latch, but we have like little fire blockades on both sides that obscures vision and makes it harder for them to come closer to us.
Okay, that'll work. So who's up there with you? So you're kind of like barricading yourself in with the portcullis kind of like thing, obscuring the archers. Is everybody going up there, or are some people staying down?
So I'm imagine Randall is underneath. He throws up the oily rags next to somebody. I'm up there. I take aim and shoot. It's a 19 to hit with fire, and that catches that on fire. He's going to run over to the other side, and while that's happening, I'll kind of like try to distract with arrows and stuff like that. And then while that's happening, the other three are going to come up and try to subdue the archers that are up there, or whoever's manning the gate.
All right, so you're able to successfully get the fires up and the distractions. Tiburon, some archers take aim at you. That means people are firing projectiles at you. What do you want to do?
I've got to deflect missiles.
All right, so what does that take?
And you hear Oliver's voice in the back of your head. Remember, if someone shoots a missile at you, or some sort of projectile, it could be rocks or bayonets or some sort of sharp objects, arrows perhaps.
A dart.
A dart, a dagger. Oh, yes, those are all pointy.
Spear, a barbecue skewer.
You can use your reaction to deflect and catch the missile when you are hit by a ranged weapon attack. When you're hit. If you do, the damage you take from the attack is reduced by 1d10 plus your dex plus your class level.
Yes, I remember Oliver saying all this, yes.
And if you reduce it to 0, you can throw it back.
Catch it and throw it back. Got it. I don't have key points to spend, but I figured...
No, you don't have to worry about the key points. It's just more of a...
Gotcha.
So okay. Zach would roll an attack roll for each arrow.
So if any hit me, Zach, let me know, and I'll get my reaction in.
Okay, so what's your AC?
It is 19.
Okay, so 3 darts go at you. 3 arrows go at you. They're a 7, a 13, and a nat 20. So 2 probably zing past you, and 1 is like headed like right for your heart, bullseye. But you have an opportunity to do your thing.
Just heart beating, dun 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 dun, as it like slowly goes in.
Remember what you've learned.
I remember.
Use the force.
That's 7 reduction to the attack. So if you want to roll for how much damage the attack does.
So the attack would do 4. So that will do it.
So
below 0. You're able to
below 0. Just matrix camera, and I managed to catch it.
You just break it in half as an alpha move.
No, he can throw it back.
I can toss it back, yeah, just like the staff, just your staff.
Throw an arrow at somebody? That's not going to do anything.
Well, my head in the eye.
Because he's using the momentum that was coming towards him.
Have you seen Lord of the Rings? This is a Legolas move, baby.
Yeah, certainly.
I mean, he does have to make a ranged attack. Like, he has to throw it and make an attack. So it very well could miss, but like...
Yeah.
All right, you want to throw it back at that archer?
This is a cool move.
It is made with proficiency, so I do get to add to it. Oh, yeah, baby, 22.
Oh. Dang. I just love the idea of this archer's like, haha, I got him right. What the heck? Oh my gosh! It's just one surprise after another. And Gray's like, non-lethal!
I will say, so you're going to chuck this back at the archer. You can either do D6 plus, what would it be? I guess your dexterity in damage, or you can pinpoint exactly on this person where you want the arrow to hit with that high roll.
Well, I'm trying to do non-lethal. All the places I can think of are fairly lethal, so I'm trying to think.
If you want to like hit his like shooting hand or hit the bow that he used or anything like that, you could do that.
Could I hit him with the because assuming the bolt has a sharp end and a blunt end, could I hit him with the
throw
blunt
it
end
backwards
in the throat? Thus keeping him from yelling out or anything.
With the wide side of the arrow, just just close ones.
It was a pretty high roll, so I'll say you can.
Great.
Physics be damned.
His trachea.
All right, that guy's currently not shooting and not speaking. Well done.
He's like, archery. They told me archery, stupid archery. That was awesome.
Nice.
So they're engaged with kind of distracting those archers. Gravely, what do you want to do from the top?
Okay. All right. Well, do you want me to shoot? I want to make sure the other side is lit as well. So I need to attack the oily rags from that side.
You can do that. I was pretty close. We'll say those are both lit up.
I'm just gonna be on range attacks, and I'm going to shoot for the feet or the leg or the bum, of any archers to try to like really hurt them and be like, because I know, the sort of weak points of like, okay, that would be not great, but it's not going to kill them. So fleshy parts or things that would cause them to not walk or be able to concentrate.
My understanding was you were the one up there near the portcullis stuff. Is that not where you want to be? Is somebody trying to close the gate, or are you just kind of distracting?
That's yeah. I mean, I was doing range stuff so that Branch and Sarsa and Tiburon could do the portcullis and take out the people that are manning the portcullis.
Okay, let's go to Branch then. Branch, what do you want to do? Gravely has the situation contained. It's a clear path from you to the portcullis. Or that's probably not what it is. The contraption that controls the gate.
So the portcullis controls. Are these controls outside? Or are they in a little room?
They're outside, but they're up above kind of where the archers and stuff
the parapet,
in the
that's
middle.
What it's called.
Oh, okay.
Parapet is the area that's the wall, the top of the wall.
It's like the pathway on top of the wall that you can shoot from an attack. That's where the gate controls are.
All right. I'm going to turn into a hawk and fly up there.
Okay. You do so. You get there. What do you want to do from there? They've not noticed you because you still have stealth going.
Cool. I want to unhawk. Mm-hmm. And then
3-point landing.
Hero landing.
How many are there? How many are there?
2 at that contraption.
Hey, can I assist him?
Yeah.
When he does that, he's going to land in front of them. And then I'm just going to take my 2 arrows and then shoot him in the bum. Just shoot him right.
That works.
And he's going to be like, boo, or something like that. And I'll just be like,
hi guys.
I'm just really, I just want to hurt him.
The guard? Okay.
And then
both guards, yeah.
I'll
try.
I'll cast infestation on the one of them.
Dope.
You'll guess what?
I'll cast infestation. It's a cantrip.
Okay. So one gets shot in the butt and falls, but not lethally, off of the parapet onto the ground. The other one is both shot and also being covered in bugs.
Yeah, mites, fleas, and other parasites. Just for a moment, they need to succeed on a Constitution saving throw, or it takes 1d6 poison damage and moves 5 feet in a random direction, which I'm hoping would be off the parapet.
Super gross. Only rolled a 6, so probably not going to do it. I think his instinct is to roll and try to burn him off in one of the kind of flaming piles of goo, but probably slips along the way, and he too falls non-lethally.
Hey.
So you're up there with the contraption on its own, which you're able to trigger, kind of like gravity's on your side to get the gate down.
Yeah, I wanna get the gate down, and then I wanna try to disable this contraption so that they can't raise it back up.
Okay. So the gate falls, and it's kind of like a iron mesh, like you can see through it. And down, those of you at the bottom, like as the gate like slams down, there's guards like running towards it who like run into it like, oh my God, please let us in, because they're covered in cockroaches that are like crawling up into their hair. And all right, so Branch, you want to disable it, roll mechanically stuff? What would that be? Survival? Probably not. Intelligence sort of roll, probably.
Could be a straight intelligence roll.
Sleight of hand.
Insight to like how it works.
No, probably. I mean, quickly, you're just trying to like, how can I break this?
Strength.
I mean, I could literally just attack it.
Do you have any bonus to sleight of hand?
I got +3 on it.
Is that just your dex?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's roll intelligence. Straight intelligence.
Okay. Straight int. All right. That is 14.
All right. You think you can break it? By like you can sort of like deduce where to hit it to at least temporarily disable it. Somebody would have to come up here and kind of like work on it and pull some stuff out and manually crank to get it undone. But that'll be enough for the moment.
All right, I'm gonna cast another cantrip on myself, Primal Savagery, and like kind of like my teeth get all long and my fingernails do, and then I like scrape at it with my claws, and it takes some acid damage and is disabled.
Oh, all right. It
Rawr.
is. Some things that are kind of like burned and sort of welded together. It would be hard to get undone. Okay. So that's happened. There's a fair amount of chaos happening inside this courtyard, as much as there is, probably not quite as much as there is outside currently, but you don't have a good view of that. Jail is nearby with some important people in it.
Randall, free the prisoners.
Okay, I'll go over there. And then I'll get out some little metal something and try and pick the locks, open up the jail.
I think you go up to do that, and like the door flies open because there's guards coming out of it, and you kind of like step back for a second because two people leave. Door is closing, but you could try to kind of like slip in or trip
Just
them
sneak
or
in.
whatever.
Nope.
Okay.
Just play it cool.
You're still. What's the pass without trace? Is that a like radius coming out of Gravely? Is that how that works? I think it moves along with the group.
It is around me within 30 feet for an hour.
Randall, you're probably outside of that, so give me a stealth roll to slip in there unnoticed.
Okay. Oh, 12.
I think you slip in. Those guards that ran out don't notice you. The door closes behind you, and you're like, yeah, did it. And then you kind of like look forward into the jail, and there's like 2 more guards that are like staring right at you.
Oh, hey guys, I'm just taking out the trash. I got my big trash bag. I'm just going to clear the trash out from some of these places around here, so don't let me interrupt you.
Roll deception.
While he's doing that, is Clump still in the jail?
Clump is still in the jail, as far as you know.
So when I
I
visited her, I left her with my pipes of the sewers, which would let her effectively conjure and control a swarm of rats. Just as a reminder, in case that was useful.
We're doing bugs, mites, cockroaches, rats. The most creepy.
Not really channeling typical hero auras, but whatever works.
We're not the typical
Work
hero.
with what you got.
It's correct for this group. What was your deception roll?
10.
Oh, I don't think that works. So they stand up and start walking towards you to try to subdue you. But you have a chance for something else.
All right, he's gonna go, oh guys, look out, spill hazard, and he's gonna throw out some slick oil down. He's gonna cast grease down in front of him.
So difficult, slippery terrain.
Slick grease covers a 10-foot square. Grease appears. Each creature standing in its area must succeed a dexterity saving throw or fall prone.
What's her DC?
16.
Oh. One rolled a 10, one rolled a 16. So one is flat on his face in the grease. One is like slipping, but just barely up. But you've got enough kind of like maneuverability with one down to get around him if you want. Kind of like behind where those guards are, looks like where the cells are.
I will go that way.
Grease was your action. Do you want to, in this situation where one guard has fallen over and one is moving gingerly, there's a doorway behind them that looks to be where you move on into the cells and stuff. And there's a closed door behind you that you just came in from.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to do at that moment?
Randall is going to suddenly become a parkour expert and run up on the walls.
Really?
Like, tick, 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 tick. No, he's just going to try and go through the grease real fast. But he's going to try and do that slide thing where, like, if you're on socks on the tile to, like,
all right, let's have a dex roll for that.
Okay, let's do. Just straight up dex.
If you have anything creative you want to add to it, skill-wise.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
I guess athletics or acrobatics if you make it real flippy.
Oh, none of those aren't going to be good for Randy. Oh, Randy boy.
Just give us a dex then.
All right.
Like his trousers fall down and it's just his underpants and he slides across and you hear dun 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 dun.
11.
All right, so your aim is to just like controlled slide right past the guard that is still on his feet and get through the door behind him, but you don't have quite as much momentum as you were hoping.
Oh.
And you end up like sliding on course, on trajectory, but then you kind of slow down and you end up directly between his legs.
Great.
Just like coming to an awkward stop.
Our sexiest season yet.
I will say he's going to then take a swing at you, but he's going to have to make a dex save at the same time to not have that momentum mess him up. So I'm going to roll an attack and a dex save. Attack is 10. Does that missy miss? Doesn't seem very good.
Doesn't seem very good, but you'd be surprised with Randall. Oh, that does miss. Hooray!
His attack is pretty bad. His dex save is good enough to keep him on his feet. Let's jump back outside for a moment. So all of you are out there. Portcullis is down. It looks to be going well enough for the townsfolk out on the other side of that. And there's still archers up there. And then on the other side, so what you're looking at, the four corners of the courtyard the rest of you are in is the portcullis that you came through. Opposite that is the entrance deeper into the fortress where you suspect Riggs would be. To your left is the jail that Randall just went into, and to your right is a barracks. And there's still archers up there on the battlements that have line of sight towards you and also out to the townspeople. Let's do initiative to work this out. Everybody roll initiative.
13.
23.
So our initiative order, mainly for just like managing the narrative amidst a lot of action, is going to be Randall, then Gravely, then Branch, then Sarsa, then Tiburon. So Gravely, what action do you want to take at this moment?
So he's inside, we're outside.
He's in the jail, which is off to your left.
Jail.
The door.
Okay.
Two guards came out and he slipped in. So those guards are taking stock of the situation. You have just successfully participated in your whole plan to light some fires and bring down the portcullis.
Right. Okay.
And so now you're in kind of a what's the next logical step mode. Where do you want to go next?
After the jail, is there a entrance to like the inside area?
Yeah, directly opposite from where you currently are is the entrance that goes deeper into the fortress, the throne room eventually, and all that stuff.
Okay, and is that a door that's shut or locked?
It's a big door, currently, I'll say open.
And I think I'm up there. I'm not sure who else is up there, but we're up on like the, what do you call them?
Yeah, the kind of parapets up on top of the wall.
So I'm gonna do the thing where I'll like take an arrow and tie a rope around it and be like, all right, everybody follow me. And I'll shoot and shoot the arrow with the rope, and it goes right above the door. And it creates, and I'll take the other end of the rope and kind of tie it around one of the rocks, of the parapet kind of stone wall, and make a little like I'm going to hang on to it and slide down. So I'll take my bow and kind of turn it sideways and grab underneath and test it for weight, and then I'll kind of like jump off and then slide down like a little zip line.
All right, let's do some sort of roll to see if that works. Give me
It's a perfect plan.
Probably some kind of dexterity roll. Kind of depends on whether we're going for. Does the arrow work? Is the arrow work successful, and is the sliding successful? But
well, I can make a attack for the arrow.
I mean, I think that probably generally works. Just
26.
give me kind of. Okay. Yeah, so good enough. All of that works reasonably well, so you're able to get down and slide over there. I would say sort of like mid-slide as you're sliding across the courtyard, which is pretty far. It's maybe a little less dramatic than you were kind of envisioning because you're not necessarily as high. At your start point is not quite as low enough to like really like zip across, but it's like working. You're getting across there. But kind of like as you're going and slowing up a little bit, some figures start marching out of the door that you're heading towards.
If anything, Gravely might not weigh enough.
Yeah.
To, like, you might just zip down like about halfway and be like, and just kind of stop.
You're kind of getting there. You just have to like kick your feet a little bit at the end, but like you're distracted by figures come out and they have the like much more focused. It's beyond like, oh, these are professional soldiers. You actually recognize because you saw when you went through before deeper into the fortress, you eventually encountered what turned out to be undead soldiers. This looks to be a bunch of those guys starting to come out of that door.
Okay. I'm just going to hang up there from the rope and try to be a little inconspicuous. Hopefully undead soldiers don't look up.
You do have Pass Without Trace cast, so I think
do.
Like somewhat unlikeliness. I don't know how to say that. It wouldn't be like typical that you would not notice this like orcling swinging towards you, but they do not because you managed to do it very stealthily. So you end up like essentially against the wall, Spider-Manning like right above them as they are marching out of this battlement.
Yeah, I'll just kind of hang up there and
we'll leave Gravely right there.
Hopefully they'll stop walking through the door.
Branch, that'll go to you. So you've just Branch. Are you in branch form? Do you remember if you're an animal right now?
I do believe I am currently in branch form because I was shutting down I was the one that unleashed the portcullis back down.
Okay. So we'll say you're up there, and what you are perceiving at this moment is these undead guards kind of marching out of the fortress, Gravely up there above them, unnoticed, but also you know that Randall has just gone into the jail where your good friend / something more, Clump, is imprisoned, as well as some other folks.
And that's the same door that these undead guys just came out of, or it's a different door?
Nope, different door. So for all intents and purposes, like south is the portcullis, north is this base that has undead people coming out, and west is jail.
Branch will pop out, and I'm going to cast Erupting Earth, kind of in the center of wherever all the undead folks seem to be.
Okay.
As long as that's not more than 120 feet away from me, which I don't
you can get that.
Assume it would be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 20-foot cube.
Okay.
And each creature in that area must make a dex saving throw. My DC is 18. And they take 3d12 bludgeoning damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. And it's difficult terrain.
I don't think any of them in that vicinity meets that save. So they definitely get knocked around, bludgeoned, kind of thrown off. And in kind of an eerie, undead way, kind of like a robotic sort of way, like they get thrown and it doesn't like phase them that much. Like it does the damage that it does, but they continue to kind of like, I'm undead and I have my orders. So to the extent that they can, they take that damage, get thrown around by suddenly erupting earth and like get right back up and kind of like reorder their formation to continue walking out of the base. So now they're still advancing, and there's kind of more behind them that now have to like kind of separate around this erupting mountain. How long does that happen for?
The dirt's there until it gets cleared. Apparently, which takes at least 1 minute per 5 foot square.
Not gonna happen right now.
I also rolled pretty decently with damage, and that was a 32.
Oh dang,
which is really good on 3d12.
Yeah, some of them look pretty messed up by that. You note that one of them, you happen to notice one of them that has like a rock like stuck in its like skull, basically
orbital cavity. Yeah.
It's still like kind of like it's like dragging itself a little bit, but it's doing its best to continue marching forward. But yeah, some are definitely pretty messed up by that. Does that keep erupting though, or is that damage a one-time thing?
It's just a one-time thing, but the dirt in that 20-foot cube is difficult terrain until cleared.
Okay.
And then I will use my bonus action to turn into let's say a hawk. And I'll use that flying speed to try to get into the prison area. To it at the very least. Because I think the door is shut, so I probably can't get into it.
It is, yeah. You can definitely turn into a hawk, fly over there.
Cool, I'll do that.
Get to what is currently a shut door.
I'll perch on the door, like the raven in the poem of said name.
You just completely messed up these guys' lawn care routine.
Yes,
you're going to have to pay so much in lawn maintenance fee.
Janitorial and stonemasons are going to be upset with you.
Yep.
All right,
that'll do it for my turn.
Branch has messed up some undead, created a giant mess of dirt, and turned into a hawk, and that takes us to Sarsa.
All right.
Sarsa, you got some kind of messed up undead flooding into the courtyard. You got Randall and Hawk Branch heading towards the jail, and you got some archers that are up there looking a little bit menacing. What do you want to do?
How far away are those undead from me? Like just
probably about 100 feet from where you are. Getting closer.
But they're like behind us, so if I go towards them, it's going to take me away from where I'm trying to go.
No, well, depending on where you want to go. Like where you assume Riggs is, which is your main target, would be behind them in that direction. But also kind of side mission is freeing the people from the jail.
You said that they're 100 feet from me.
Currently.
There's nothing closer.
You got some archers up on the battlements that need maybe dealing with.
And they're how far from me?
Archers are probably pretty close. I don't know if you ended up on the ground or
they're
up
not
on the battlements.
But only these guys are undead.
They're people. Undead coming towards you.
They're dealing with fire.
Got it. I thought they'd be closer.
You might be closer to undead in the future if it's not a perfect situation for whatever you want to do.
That's okay. What I'm gonna do is to set myself up is I'm going to rush out as close as I can to the undead, and then I'm going to call, which I've got 30 feet of movement, and then I'm going to call my spirit guardians, and I'm going to do that as a level 5 spell.
Oh, geez. 5,000 stingrays show up.
So many. So with the intention of if they come near me, they will get...
All right, so this level 5 spirit guardians is 15-foot radius, and then...
Oh, level 5 damage is 5d8.
Okay, sounds menacing. And are you moving towards them at this moment, or are you holding where you are?
My movement was to go as close to them as I could, so I'd take the 30 feet towards them, but I don't want to take the dash action. I want to call this.
Yeah, so in this turn, you probably kind of get right up to the edge of the outermost spirit guardians are right in front of the most forward-facing soldiers. Okay. And let's jump to Tiburon.
So last thing I did, I shot back an arrow at one of the archers, right?
Yes.
Relative to everyone else, whereabouts am I? Like sort of where Sarsa was, or sort of where?
Yeah, probably about where Sarsa was. Similarly positioned.
So similarly, like 100 feet away from the undead, closer to the archers. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And then how high above are the archers?
I don't know if I said before, but between 20 and 30 feet, probably up.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I don't think the boots of springing get me all the way there. I think those only get me... Well, let's take a look, actually. No, actually, That would be 30
only
feet.
30 feet. Yeah.
3 plus my strength modifier, that makes it 10. And then the boots of springing multiply that times 3. So I can jump 30 feet in the air. Would I be able to jump up and then melee attack one of the archers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's do it. I
will
do
say
like
you can jump up in between two archers and maybe melee attack too. If you got a bunch of attacks
fantastic. Yeah.
Go,
split 'em
gadget
up between
boots.
both of them. All right. And so I'm going to get down like a Mario and then spring up, land in the middle of both archers, and then proceed to attack both of them.
Chris Pratt Mario, right?
Yeah, it's me, Mario. Yeah, that one.
Roll some attacks.
Yep, let's go.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, 17, 22,
Boing.
and 21.
Boing. All right, so you can do whatever you want with these two guards. You can just hit them. You can toss them out into the courtyard. You can toss them down into where your comrades are, or you can just wallop them.
I guess one of them I'll try and knock out here. Is one of the archers that I hit with the arrow before? Is it one of these two?
No, these are two fresh ones.
Oh, these are two fresh archers. Okay, got it. Then I'm going to try and knock them both down into the courtyard.
All right, those were good hits. Both of them go flying down into the courtyard. Ah! Successful. You're up there with your guy you just threw an arrow back at, who's pretty nervous. Very nervous at this point. Would be running away, except behind him is the flaming pile of, I forget what we lit on fire, but he can't run away from you from where he is. But he looks like he'd sure like to. He looks like he's contemplating just jumping over the wall on his own. Do you want to do anything else on your turn? That was your regular 3 attacks.
I'll do a little gesture where I point at him and then do the thumb across the neck.
Roll intimidation for that.
Oh, okay. This should go well. Yeah, that's 23.
He's like, that's okay, I'm fine. And he literally throws himself over the wall.
3 down, baby.
So that's all that were on that side of the fire. So you cleared out that side of the battlements. And then let's go back into the jail. Randall, you're looking up from between the legs of last standing guard. There's another guard in the room who's trying to get up and being unsuccessful. He tries to push himself up and hands slip out from under him and his face hits the grease again. And I think before, let's go to your turn first. What do you want to do in that situation?
I want to do a disabling strike and punch upwards.
Is disabling strike an ability you have, or just what you're calling this motion?
I think for most people this would be pretty disabling. A punch right there. If I
you.
truly am between the legs,
You are. Give me an
just
attack.
straight up. Oh no, that's a 1.
No.
How can you miss? How can you miss my dude?
He's just you sort of you're not very big, so you sort of you think you have the reach to reach up there and you don't, so he knows exactly what you were trying and you just didn't clear it. So he is how dare you, and he's reaching down to grab you and hurt you, and then from behind him he is overrun by a swarm of rats.
Yeah.
The rats, yay!
Rats just come thundering out, a whole bunch of them. They don't seem to be super affected by the grease, and they run right up on him and do everything their little rat feet and tails and teeth can do to disable that guard, who freaks the heck out, which gives him severe disadvantage on a dex save. So he ends up tumbling forward into the grease.